When you're going to create an organized page, whether it's your home page or any place that the rich content editor can be used, you can insert a table. Tables help us organize our images or our text into rows and columns that line up easily. Unless you're an expert in HTML and encoding, where you could do this from the backside in the coding, there is a way to use tables to help things line up. Just keep in mind that tables are not always read the same way with screen readers. So for accessibility issues, you do have to add headers and you do have to have the course links or whatever your title of your table is listed, or you'll have accessibility problems. So I'm going to show you basically the way I created the table that you see here. You see a banner on this page, which is this image right here. And then you see these course links, which are buttons, merely images that would link out to other things. So we're going to start with our edit. And from within edit, now you can see that the buttons or images are within these dotted lines. So it's showing you that there is a table, but once it's published, there's no outline on that. So therefore, it shows just as if it were floating on the page. So the way we create this is to simply put our cursor where we want our image to be, and we can center align it already, so we can start there. There are two places that you can get to the table to insert it. You can insert it from here in the menu, or you can insert it from the icon over here. Either way works the same. You're going to click on it. You're going to come to where it says table, and then you're going to determine how many squares or how many cells is what they're called in the editor that you want. So if I want 4 cells, and you can always add more or take some away if you need to, but we're going to start with the 4. Now when it dropped it in, you notice it spread almost through the entire rich content editor. As long as the blue boxes are highlighted here on the edge, of course that means we have selected our entire table. So again, from here, we can center align it if we wish. You notice it doesn't go anywhere. It only center aligned where my cursor was, not the entire thing. So we're going to work through a few of those issues and how you can make that work for you. To make it the same size as what I have here, I'm going to grab a corner and I am going to just pull it down. Now you notice again, it is not centered at this point. So again, I'm going to select the entire thing and then click on my align in the menu. Of course, you can always come to format and come to align from this menu as well. You have options in various places. So once I have it here, and maybe I still think it's still a little too big, we're going to bring it down so it matches the other one. And again, if I literally were making another row here, I would just add a row to this particular table. So once my table is here, and again, I wouldn't add a second table. I would come into this one and I would add below, insert a row before or insert a row after. That would line it up perfectly. But we're just going to work with what we have. So let's say I want to bring in buttons. I want to bring in images that I'm going to link out to somewhere else. That's all buttons are in the rich content editor. So we're going to go to our images, and of course we can upload or we can use images that are already here. You notice I already have some buttons here, the same ones I used, so I'm going to go ahead and enter that button. And then I'm going to come here and enter the next one. and move my cursor over and add the next one. It's sometimes easier to upload your images first. It sort of keeps you all in one space, but that's entirely up to your workflow and how you would like to do it. So now I have my buttons. Well, there's a problem here in that if you look at my buttons, they're a little bigger, they're a little too big, and they have this black line around them. I don't want the black line. I don't want people to see that I've used a table. So first I'm going to say, find out how big this particular image is because I want this one to match it. I go to Image Options, and you can play around with these numbers until it's the right size for you, but I like 132. That seems to be a good size. So I come to this one, I change this to 132, and you notice it's locked, so that locks the aspect ratio so it doesn't change the size all the way around, and I can do that for each of these until I have the correct size. Now, as I'm doing this, you may notice that the images are not centering. They're moving to the left, and I'm going to have to go back and fix that. And it's a little bit frustrating sometimes because sometimes it doesn't really do it well the first shot. So you want to select the whole thing and you want to center a line, but you notice only one moved and it moved to the left. So you may have to come back and center a line again. So what happens is that sometimes it gets confused and it will do one image or it will do one image to the wrong side. Just go back, select one of the other ones, and then come back to the center line. So now you see my buttons are the same size, they are center aligned, and again, I would have added another row so it would have been exactly the same. There's one more thing to fix, of course, these black lines. So I'm going to select my entire table. I'm going to come here to Table Properties. I can also do it from this menu. And where it has border width 1, I'm going to remove it to 0. And now you notice that my lines have disappeared. But before I go to save this and look at it, I want to mention we do have accessibility issues going on here. And so always run your accessibility checker. Tables should include a caption. The reason for that is screen readers. Screen readers need to know where the beginning of the particular table is. So we're going to apply that caption, and we just choose the header row to be the table header. It just means that where I've put additional links and we have to hit apply, it's just going to read it correctly. We have to change alternate text. We really want it to say what we want it to do. So for example, click here to go to whatever the name of that is. It happens to be video. So to go to video. Okay. And you're going to apply it. Any button needs to have alt text that says it's going to something. We're going to go ahead and close this for now, even though we still have the issues with these other buttons, because in the interest of time, we want to just go back and see what this looks like. So now you can see I have my table with my course links, and I have an additional table with additional links. There are ways you can go into the HTML editor and you can play with numbers there as well. But for today, just doing it from the formatting menu is probably your quickest access in order to set up tables.